Let's try to look at what are the various enablers for the machine learning. So certainly Internet of Things is one of the great enabler along with the big data. So Internet of Things, as we call as IoT, is certainly a network of physical devices or vehicles or various appliances which can be connected with the likes of sensors, actuator, and various connectivity functions, which enables them to get connected and exchange the data over the internet. So the machine learning algorithms can be combined with the IoT sensors, and that can help you to feed in the data on the real-time basis with the likes of these sensors. So there are various use cases, and it is estimated that the likes of IoT devices and the tablets or the smartphones and everything, the overall volume of them will surpass more than 20 billion. Now, and it is certainly true. There are various devices being used, and the overall being volume of data being generated through devices is grown multifold. So there are lots and lots of data getting generated with these devices which are enabled through the IoT capabilities. So as we see, big data is getting generated and getting consumed with the likes of these IoT devices. So big data is basically defined as a high velocity, high volume, and high variety of data. So which is one of the great enablers for the machine learning capabilities. The next important enabler for the machine learning is your cloud environment. So your cloud computing environment is also helping in terms of ensuring how the ML capabilities are being worked upon. So there are various large data centers which are being worked upon and helping you to uh, carry out some of those computational work with the likes of cloud environment. So there are uh, on-demand services being available with the likes of cloud, which can help you to reduce the overall cost. And these on-demand services of cloud can help you manage and handle the big data work as well. So multiple products of cloud are available from various service providers and vendors to help and enable you to store the data in the likes of high performance computing environment as well. So in those environments, there are multiple processes which are being used in parallel. So you have various virtualized environment. There are various VPCs and being used for carrying out these tasks. In addition to that, you can think of using various open source software as well. There can be various specialized hardware, CPUs, GPUs, OPUs being used for ensuring and storing the data, which is helping machine learning for the overall data feed. So if you see, European Union is currently planning to expand the exascale HPC facility so that they can model the weather environment. So that's how they have been planning to use it across. Similarly, IBM, as we see, Deep Blue now have less processing power than the current iPhones of the world. So the overall enabler for the machine learning is the cheap compute power, which is now available through the likes of cloud environment, which help you to process the data at a much faster rate and at a much lower cost. So for your machine learning classification example, we can think of putting boosting and clustering. So these are the two classical ways of putting the machine learning classification examples. So boosting is a machine learning approach that help turns the weak learners into a strong learners. So it is one of the way by which you can be able to put a better random guessing with the likes of well correlated through classifications. So boosting is one of the ways, one of the mechanism in machine learning to help you improve your predictions. So obviously it takes lots of educated guess, and it takes a lots of learning which is required to take a better decision than a single set of expert. So that's how boosting mechanism in machine learning can help you work in that direction. Similarly, clustering, which is again one of the classification techniques in the machine learning, can help you to group the objects into the kind of clusters based on the likes of similarity, and with that the overall capability of making the better decisions improved. So the overall data mining, as we call, can be a great example for working in the direction. In addition to that, we can think of putting random decision forestry, which can or random decision force algorithm, which can be helping to improve the overall performance. So your decision tree, as we call it, can help you improve the overall performance. So these are the few machine learning classification examples, as we call it. So the next enabler, as we see, is your machine learning with the help of deep learning or artificial neural network. So artificial neural network is basically based on the concepts of human brain, how human brain works. Similarly, the same capabilities can be mapped with the deep learning algorithms of ANN, which is your artificial neural network. So as we see, the deep learning is more of a step change in machine learning capabilities. So you try to use the concepts of neural network, which is helping now to have a greater set of predictions being built in the overall machine learning algorithms. So your neural networks over a period of time have made significant progresses in the recent walks of life. So you can certainly be thinking of using the deep learning ANN networks for providing the overall prediction capabilities. So it certainly requires great training, and obviously the training, it's not only training, you need to have the right set of data which has to be feed in, so that the training algorithms can be working very fine. So various use cases, as we see, for the deep neural network can be the bioinformatics, in the likes of speech recognition, in the likes of image processing, for the natural languages processing. So you can think of putting the ANN, which is your deep learning artificial neural network. So when you're trying to build the capabilities of ANN, it certainly needs lots of computer resources, which can be in form of compute, can be form of processing power, which can be in form of other resources as well. So you can think of using the likes of capabilities of cloud as well for carrying out these tasks. So in that case, it learns from the structured and unstructured data as well. So when you're trying to put the capabilities of deep learning with the likes of artificial neural networks, so data, whether it's stored in a structured or unstructured form, can be used for exploring these opportunities. So the next important enabler for the machine learning is the deep reinforcement learning. So here, if we can think of giving example of Google DeepMind, which was developed based on the machine learning capability, was able to successfully beat the world Go champion. So that's one of the example of deep enforcement learning as well. So the next examples, as we see, can think of being the swarm intelligence, where we can think of carrying out some of the tasks which are relatively tough for humans to carry out. Similarly, the likes of optimization is one of the ways by which which can be enabled with a deep reinforcement learning mechanism as well. So it can help in making a system better by successfully improving the matrices in the environment. Now let's try to look at the overall funding mechanism. So there are various organizations who can certainly help in funding the AI or machine learning projects or prototypes. Some of them are listed below, so you can think of you approaching UKRI. You can think of approaching Innovate UK, and there are various other organizations which can be reached out for any kind of funding needs or grants. So these can help you to provide any kind of grants or support for developing any kind of technological needs, from basic technology readiness level of 1 to 2 to the technological readiness level of 9, which means the commercial exploitation or commercial use case of your AI or ML projects. So as we call TRL, which has been provided by NASA, which is the technology readiness levels. It has been developed by NASA and it has been used by European Union and UK as well. So there are university research and development wing. They have been various universities research and development wings. They work with the industrial arms to ensure that the right set of funding is being done and carried out for any kind of these. So all these funding help us to reach the world class AI or ML based prototypes. So as we see, there are various examples of R&D and commercial adoption of these AI or machine learning based prototypes in the current view. So let's now try to look at the aspects of ethics. So we see ethics as one of the great, we call it as one of the great elephants or one of the biggest elephant in the room. Why? Because first and foremost, it is certainly such a complex situation, or it's such a complex subject, that how the use cases of AI and ML can be controlled with the likes of lenses of ethics. So this is such a complex subject. As we see, who will be responsible for managing the ethics? Who will be responsible for ensuring that any kind of breaches doesn't happen? So who will be responsible for ensuring that law and ethics are being followed in the areas of development for machine learning or artificial intelligence? So whether there would be any kind of rights which has to be given across for the robotic development as well. So all these are the set of complex questions which has to be dealt very sensitively. So if we try to develop any kind of AGI, which is your artificial general intelligence, so in that case, robotics certainly plays a very major role, and the area of ethics come into picture. And it is very critical and very sensitive to be addressing these areas of ethical development. So if you see, UK EPSRC have provided some of the guidelines for the ethical development of these work which has to be carried by AI or robotics as well. So we can think of following the standards which are outlined by UK EPSRC. So in addition to that, there are various other international organizations who have been developing these concepts, the likes of Future of Life, the likes of IEC Tech, and there are various other organizations who have been working in this direction to give the guidelines for the ethical development of AI and ML. So most important thing in this area is having the kind of transparency. Transparency is key in this area, so that uh, all the work which has been carried out has to be based on the ethical standard. Transparency along with accountability. All the work which you are carrying, or organizations have been carrying out, it should be uh, in the direction of overall improving the standards of life of humans. So the right set of accountability have to be defined when you're trying to carry out or build any kind of AI based algorithms or systems. So the most important thing is whether the aspects of inequality, whether the aspects of gender diversity, whether the aspects of any kind of biases or unemployment be addressed with these kind of issues. So with the likes of AI and ML, can we be able to address these kind of issues? So we have to be thinking and working in that direction. Also, when we are trying to think of use cases of AI, let's try to work out that these use cases should not be used for the weapons. These use cases cannot be or should not be used for weapons of mass destructions. So the use cases of AI and ML has to be for helping and carrying out society in a ethical ways. The healthcare industry, if you're trying to use those AI and ML capabilities, uh, we need to be ensuring that the genetical selection is not being carried out based on that. Social exclusion is not being done with the likes of AI and ML. So these are the real use cases when you're trying to put it from the perspective of healthcare industry. And obviously AI should not be creating the kind of environment which is more vulnerable. So the AI should be helping people in form of reducing the disparities in society rather than building or bringing or widening the gap in the society in form of economic growth. So AI have to be bridging those gaps rather than being widening the overall gap in the society in form of charging how the people are getting charged based on that.